Hello, good evening, all. Today we are going to have a social entrepreneur talk with Gayathri Vasudevan, ma'am. So, this is one of the entrepreneur talks um, conducted by Balavikas for social and responsible business. So, my name is Anil, and our speaker is going to talk about her journey, and then we have a Q&A session for all the attendees. So, I think many of you might have heard about Bala Vikasa before, right? So, it has a legacy of more than 45 years. So if you see the Balavikasa, it has three different verticals. So we can also call them as three impact models. So the first impact model, the first vertical, we named it as community driven development program. So this community driven development program is located in Warangal, and it's working on different sectors like water, women, sustainable agriculture, education, model communities. If you see the previous Telangana government, they have inspired from us, and they have started two programs based on our water program, such as Mission Bhagirath and Mission Kaktiya. One is for safe drinking water, and one is for tank desiltation. And we are also into the women programs, the generic women programs and the widow emancipation programs. And these are the very prominent programs we do, and we are also located in different parts of the country. Almost we are covered in 8 to 9 states today, and we are covering more than 8,000 villages. And the second vertical for Balavikasa is PDTC, People Development Training Center. And this is a place where we are passing our knowledge, passing our community driven knowledge to the next generations, to the NGOs, to the government officials, and to the people who come from different countries. And this is dedicated for trainings. And the recent vertical and the most prominent for social entrepreneurship is Center for Social and Responsible Business, which is located in Hyderabad. So it has uh, two main areas, such as social entrepreneurship and responsible business. So as part of social entrepreneurship, we do few programs such as incubation program, capacity development program, and social entrepreneurship consultancy program, and many more like that. And as part of responsible business, we support the CSR companies like which spend their money on CSRs. We handhold them to spend their CSR money wisely and to create impact on the society. And this is about CSRP. So this is our team. So Shauri Singareddy is the executive director of Bala Vikasa, and Rahul Bharadwaj, the senior director of Bala Vikasa, and this is the social entrepreneurship team. So today we have uh, our beloved Gayatri ma'am with us. So it's my absolute honor to introduce a visionary leader and change maker in the social impact sector. So with over 2 decades of experience in sustainable development, skill building, and livelihoods, Gayatri ma'am has dedicated her career to creating meaningful change for marginalized communities. She currently serves as the Chief Impact Officer at Sambhav Foundation, where she leads transformative initiatives in education, employment, and entrepreneurship. Additionally, as the chairperson of LabourNet Services India Private Limited, she has been instrumental in improving the livelihoods of informal sector workers across the country. Gayathri holds a PhD in development economics from the University of Delhi and brings expertise in vocational training, financial inclusion, social enterprise development, and policy advocacy. Under her leadership, Sambhav Foundation has impacted over 2.7 million lives, fostering community-based friendship, financial empowerment, and skill development initiatives. Her remarkable contributions to the sector have earned her prestigious recognitions, including the Forbes India Entrepreneur with the Social Impact Award, Skill Development Award, and Sabera Change Maker 2024, among others. Beyond her organizational leadership, she actively mentors emerging social entrepreneurs and advocates for inclusive economic growth, sustainable business models. It is truly inspiring to have a leader of her caliber today. For all of us who believe in social entrepreneurship, her is proof that be right action. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gayathri Vasudevan. Ma'am, it is your turn. Generally, the questions from the audience point of view. And after Janani's uh, questions with you, audience will be allowed to ask questions from their perspective. Yeah, Janani, you can start with your questions now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Anil. Sorry, everyone, for the inconvenience. There is a bandwidth issue, like network issue with Anil's and also. If there is any disturbance, any questions or anything, please feel free to use the chat, and we will take it after the curated question answers that we have developed, and will completely open for everyone to take up your questions. And once again, Gayathri ma'am, welcome to the session. So we would like to know, as everyone know that you have started your career as a development profession. You worked with UN, International Labour Organization and all. So how is your transition from development profession to an impact-driven entrepreneur leading organization like LabourNet and Sambhav Foundation to create these social changes, and what inspired the shift, and what were the key challenges over the year you faced, and how was the journey?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and to talk to a lot of you who are working in rural areas. I think that to me is the most challenging work that you're doing out here. So I'm very happy to be in conversation with all of you. I think I started off as a researcher. Then, as you said, I went in to be a development professional for a decade or so, and then I transitioned to looking at how do you create sustainability, how do you create sustainable livelihoods. Then, is it possible for sustainability of an organization and sustainability of the individual? Because unless the person is earning continuously, it's not sustainable for the person. So I think these were the two goals that I was looking at marrying together. And that's why the shift, saying that it's important to understand what it means to be an entrepreneur in order for you to understand how do you service it. And so who do you service? Like for us, if you look at it in so-called the livelihood business, if we could call it's people. People have to learn, people have to earn, people have to learn more, people have to earn more. That's the work that we're all interested in and are doing. But when they're learning and earning, in middle class families, your parents pay for the learning. And then there's a career, therefore you continue. But what happens to the poor? They don't have a clear idea how this whole career is going to happen. And therefore, we thought it would be important for us to organizationally design it in a manner in which the person is invested in his or her journey. So the impact work we do and the impact entrepreneurship work we do is linked to that. Challenges that you said, yeah, there are a lot of challenges. I think let me put the top 3 challenges for any entrepreneur is financial sustainability. Where does the money come? How do you sustain day in, day out? I think that's the first challenge that most entrepreneurs face, especially when you love the idea. So just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think the key is the ability to sustain. Is a key challenge for any entrepreneur. I would be lying if I told you that it's a smooth journey. Who pays? What time do they pay? When are you getting paid for the work you love to do, for the work you think it's important? Now, the work that an entrepreneur thinks is important should be also what the customer thinks is important, right? Your customer is a young people or candidate who are there. Just give me a. So I think that's the most important thing that we are looking at. The second important one for an entrepreneur is how do you keep the motivation of your team together? And that's again a very difficult one. We often think it's easy, but it's your mission. How do you communicate the mission down the line? And as you scale, is your motivation the same as your team's motivation? Is your team's motivation linked to the outcomes that are there? So what is the outcome? Again, the outcome is earning, right? So that means somebody should be able to believe throughout that I'm using Janani as an example. Janani needs to be interested in learning. Janani needs to be interested in earning. Then saying, okay, Janani, if you continue in the same job, you'll only earn so much. So you have to learn more in order to earn more. Then when you earn more, your time may be shorter. So this journey which is there, my colleagues, my staff need to also believe in it. So how do you create that mission? And through this, what are the ways in which you're actually being able to capture that impact to have more Jananis on the call? Can we have Anil on the call? Can we have Sabyasachi on the call? How do we do that? Because unless they are all going to believe into the same mission, it's not going to work. So I think that's the second one that I would say. The third one is India is such a big country, but we keep saying competition, competition, competition. Because I think our value proposition is not good enough. We're always worried about competition. I think if our value proposition is good enough, it's such a big country, there's so much work to be done. One need not worry. But that's a challenge. So I would say these are the top 3, Janani, I would say are the challenges that I have faced, at least in my journey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. It is really insightful for the founders out there. And talking about the sustainability model and all, Sambhav Foundation has already successfully created impact across education, employment, and entrepreneurship. What advice would you give to the founders out there on the importance of validating their idea as well as providing the impact?
So it's a journey. There's no easy solution. We're not going to get a Dolo tablet and I'm not going to be able to give advice to people who are already experienced. At least what I see in the photos, a lot of people seem to have a lot of experience under their belt. So I don't want to seem prescriptive, but I would say it's very important to keep revisiting why one is doing what one is doing. And is the other party finding it valuable? If they're not finding it valuable, then I think one should revisit. So I would say don't give up, but revisit why are you having problems? It could be people problem, it could be funding problem, it could be the idea proof problem. So I think identify what's not working. Is it all three or is it one of the three? Rate it and then go after to solve it. So it's always a learning journey, Janvi. I mean, to date, I struggle with it. I don't have answers which I can give you saying, listen, everything has worked. You know what? Things are hunky dory. Every education program we have done has been superb, or every livelihood program has been the best. No, there have been each time we have faced problems. One has to understand it, go back, learn it, and go and fix it.
True, ma'am. Yeah, understood. So the validating the idea, testing it, and whether it what is not working, trying to understand that and reworking on it is always important. And also, like as you are working in the rural areas, rural entrepreneurs, like building rural entrepreneurs, they face unique challenges from lack of infrastructure to access to the market. So how does Sambhav empower rural entrepreneurs to become self-reliant, overcome these challenge, and also adopt sustainable revenue models?
So I think it's important to pick which ones will work. For rural entrepreneurs, is there a demand for the service? So if there's no demand for the service, then it's a problem. So the demand for the service is very, very, very important, right? Now, for example, if you say it's a plumber, then where is that demand for service going to come? Right? Who's going to pay for the service of a plumber in a rural area? Is it going to be farmers in the farm, agricultural farms? Is it going to be households because there is a, Har Ghar, your whole Jal Jeevan mission thing, therefore taps are being done? Is it solar? So it's important to understand who the market and who the paymaster is. Then with that in mind only can you do it. So that's very, very important for us to think about.
That's a great example of how grassroots innovation, identifying this like the stakeholders involved and the right people and all. So now shifting the focus to women entrepreneurs. So women empowerment is a key focus nowadays, and even though the global study shows that one out of two social startups are run by women, they face numerous challenges. So how does Sambhav support women in overcoming these challenges and becoming a leader or an entrepreneur?
So in the case of women, there are social, limitations which are there, right? One is time. Her time is limited because she has to do household chores. She has to take care of child care, old age care, etc. So I think the first for women entrepreneurs that we are trying to support is to actually get them to understand how much time do they have. Then is to negotiate with the family to see can they get an hour more? Can they get 2 hours more? I'm not talking big changes. First is to free up time. The second is mobility. Can they go and travel to get business? Is important. Consistently travel to get business. And the third is the skill set itself. So I would rate it in that. Fourth, which is becoming important, is to understand credit. Are they taking too much credit or and burning that and using it for household consumption? Or are they taking credit for business and making it happen? I think that's the important one which has to work.
Like when it comes to rural entrepreneurs, and they are struggling to build and scale their like organization and all. So what do you think about the networking opportunities, partnership, and the collaboration as a key to scaling impact. What the entrepreneur should keep in mind while having collaborations with whether it is corporates, government, or other NGOs?
So it depends on which type of rural entrepreneur. Anything which is in the service sector, I think it would be a good thing for them to consider being sub-franchisees. Anything which is a product selling, again, it would be good to see if there's a market to see there, because the bigger company has business models there, established business models. Anything which is in the social entrepreneurship, little bit more difficult, because that's an area where market has not entered. So without market entering, it is complicated. One has to keep piloting, trying, seeing what works, what doesn't work, then again pivoting and learning from it and taking it forward.
Yeah. So like stakeholder engagement is like critical for long-term success or like the partnership building, we can say. And but beyond the partnership, the way entrepreneurs approach problem solving is just as important. So how can an early stage social startup design their solution that are truly community driven rather than a top-down intervention, something that Sambhav Foundation has done effectively to create a lasting impact and with a community-driven approach?
So I think let's break this back, right? What kind of social enterprise is important? Some social enterprises are product led. That means they're selling a solar or they're selling a sanitary pad, etc., which is product led. Some social enterprises are service led. Some social enterprises are learning led. Some social enterprises are health led. So, depending on which is the area that one is working, one needs to start looking at again who is going to pay for the services. Is it donors? In that case, it falls into the NGO bucket. It does not necessarily fall into the social entrepreneur. An NGO may accelerate the entrepreneurship of the community. That could be the service which is available. So the social entrepreneur is where is important to put. For example, if you're providing health services because health services are not available, then it's a different issue, right? You're actually competing with the primary healthcare centers or you're doing the bridge to the primary healthcare centers. So I think it's important to identify the area. Like one of the things we've been thinking about is, can we have people be counselors and recruiters? So can women actually sit at their home, understand job roles in urban cities, entrepreneurship opportunities, and counsel their young people? And can they be paid gig money for it? So I think that could be an entrepreneurship opportunity. We have to test it now. Am I right in even saying it? The theory is, if every woman knows what kind of job her son or daughter can get, or her nephew or her friend's son or daughter can get, then she or he will continue to actually look at it as a useful earning opportunity. But for that child or that young person, it is a person who they believe, who they trust. And therefore, the transition, the aspirational gap which is there is filled. So I think it's about identifying and then testing that thesis, that theory of change, coming back and re-establishing it.
Yeah. So like every social entrepreneur have this one question in their mind, that how to avoid that early stage mistakes while establishing a social enterprise. Through your experience over the years, what are the few common mistakes that you see in the social entrepreneurs, and how can they avoid them?
See, what are the mistakes? I myself have made so many mistakes, so I don't know whether I'm equipped to answer it. But I would say, I think it's important to understand quickly where is the mistake made first, and then quickly correct it. Nobody is perfect, so it's okay to make mistakes. but learn from other people's mistakes. So there are so many mistakes. So today you don't even have to read, right? Um, you can even listen to a lot of conversations around it. Read about what is the others and then build it out yourselves. And the second is, don't worry, if there's a mistake, there's a mistake. Correct it and move forward. I mean, life is not perfect. Why should you not have mistakes? I wish life was perfect.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah. So going forward, so sustaining sustainability of the enterprise as well as keeping the motivation of the founders is also very important to establish a lasting and impact-driven models. So many impact-driven founders experience this burnout and due to the intensity of work. And what advice would you give to them to maintain that long-term resilience and to drive that their motivation and the impact?
It's a very tough question. So, see, I think let's break it into two. One, I think one should look at the life stage one is in. If you're a young person and you are just starting off, we should be practical also, in my opinion, right? Assuming you're earning no money, how do you go back and face your parents? How do you go back, face your wife? How do you go back and tell your husband, I need the money? I think that's a very important thing. So, financial security is important, or at least for the family to be able to support you through this journey. For me personally, I think that's been incredible support um, through good times and bad times. Second, I think is it's probably important for everybody to have a sounding block. I think it's always good to have a co-founder. So at least you have somebody to share your problems with. So I think that's the second I would say. The the third that I would say is your own conviction and not losing heart. So, this is a journey which one should go on with a smile. So, can you constantly feel happy, enthused, want to move to the next level, want to solve a problem? Then I think you're in the right space. Assuming you feel disappointed at every failure, this is not the right space.
Yeah.
So to keep motivation, I think one must be have support with or without. If you don't have support, have resilience. Resilience will come only from inner peace and inner happiness in a sense, right? Got to like what you're doing. And then you will have to, I also feel sometimes we overthink, just overthink too much. Jane do, like some mistakes happen, some life goes on. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's really valuable advice.
Should move on.
As like everyone will be feeling like even like nowadays we can say like the tolerance or like the patience are decreasing and the people will feel like burnout very quickly when it comes to like a NGO space and all. And the major challenge they face is like a funding. So what do you feel like the importance of diversifying the funding for
critical,
the social
very,
strategy?
very critical, very critical. You must have multiple funding sources because the passion is yours. Finding somebody who has to provide you that is very important. We should always diversify. Should have multiple types of funding. Different types of funders are important. Very important. But funding is, I think, see, when money is not there, no, we underestimate it. We'll all say, oh, money is not important. Your idea is important. When it is all idealistic. Get the money first and then ideas, you start, your idea has to be good. You have to show impact. But without it, I think all of us are being a bit hypocritical. At least I feel I would not be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So I won't tell you, you know what, please go on doing something. See where the funds are. See how you can adapt to what you want and then go forward. But at the same time, don't take the funds for granted. because it's somebody else's money, right? You're a custodian, which means you need to ensure that the impact is delivered. And if it isn't, you have to take the mukka on your face. People are going to shout at you. People are going to scream at you. You should be able to take the, you should be able to take it. No shortcuts there.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, at the same time, like, what do you feel about the incubation support which is available in the ecosystem and the mentoring services which is there, and how important it is for a social startup or like anyone who is having an idea to a growth stage?
Incubation is very important because it gives you access to mentors who, see, many people will give you advice. Ultimately, what you take is yours. But out of 100, maybe only 3 advice is useful. Okay. It doesn't matter. Listen to the 100 to get the 3 useful. Let's not assume we know. And you know what? It's a struggle because you say, I know more than this person. The person is not in my shoes. So, but you don't know where you're going to get that good mentor, good advice. So I think going through incubation accelerator programs is very important. So that you're able to show that you're making progress. It's more like a report card for yourself, right? Month on month, quarter on quarter, year on year. How am I progressing will come because somebody else is checking your progress. So it gives you that anchorship, according to me.
Yeah, so like I'll keep the session open for audience. Before that, final questions. So, what is one key action you would recommend for all the participants today? Something they can reflect on or implement to strengthen their idea of social entrepreneurship.
Can you repeat that, Janani?
Yeah, I'm asking like what is the one key action you would recommend all of our participants? Like they are with a social entrepreneurship idea, they are already established social enterprises. So something that they can reflect on and implement to the strengthening their ideas or like the social enterprise.
I think go back and look to see what's working for you. Make a list of what's working for you and then build on that. Don't build on the what's not working. If it's not working, it's not working. If you keep trying to fix what's not working, you'll forget what's working. Go with what's working. You should know what's not working. But at the same time, unless you are able to fix what's working and make it better, you'll spend all your time on what's not working. So I would say that's the most important. Something is working, no? Out of 100 things, 50 is working, 70 is working, 20 is working. Take that, build on that. That would be my way.
Yeah, understood, ma'am. Now I'll open the session for the question answer. Anyone who have the questions, please feel free to ask your doubts. Yeah. So there is a question in the chat box. So how to break the 3 years operations qualification for getting funds for new social incubator?
So that's a legal challenge. You may not be able to, easily do that. You can always work with another organization and ensure that the funding you got, you're able to, work with them for your project as you build out and build the credibility for the 3 years. I think that's the best way to do it. Spend the 3 years doing your project, get your funding through another organization, but at the same time, start building up the um, financial records of your organization, the governance structures of your organization.
Understood. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, Abhishek, go ahead.
Thanks, Jenny. Hello, ma'am. I'm Abhishek. My question is with regard to your experience of, being a veteran in the vocational training domain. You've done so many projects in the rural, areas. How has been your experience in terms of the participation? Because we've seen generally, uh, you know, while you're doing something good for the beneficiary themselves are sometimes not really showing that much of intent. And when you see that that distant vision is not there, they're very short, term oriented sometimes, instant gratification. That's the current generation we face. So how has been the experience, and how have you solved or have managed to, mitigate that particular, that cause?
I haven't solved it. I wish I could tell you I have solved it. No, I think it's persistence. Okay. I think first look at it from their perspective. Why are we think we are doing good, right? By teaching them. But look at our own learning journeys, right? Look at your children, look at your brothers, sisters, everybody. Nobody likes coming to class all the time. So it's no different here. So it's always going to be a little bit different. I think the faster we are able to integrate them to work, the journey is better. Okay.
Okay.
So that means, can we bring in more experiential learning? Can we bring in more learn and earn models are important for us to think, which means we need to design vocational training differently.
Like
which
an
is
on-job
asked
training.
Will, Abhishek. It's only बीस का फर्क. Everybody wants to say we've done it, but I would say, let's say it's every time it's a struggle. Every center is a struggle. Every place is a struggle where one has to do. The replicability of it is not a clean slate for anybody. I think the sooner we accept it, we will design together better. Maybe you and I will design better, right? So we will say, okay, listen, there is a problem. If we don't accept the problem, then we are saying, oh, listen, I'm doing, like you said, you're a veteran. Actually, you should have said you're a veteran who hasn't solved it. You missed the last three words, right? Which are very important. Now, I also have to accept, you also have to accept, and we'll have to solve together. We have to design better, according to me.
And how has been the experience of on-job trainings? As you said, it's
it has been better.
Okay.
But I believe there needs to be a classroom and an on-job.
Okay.
I also feel it needs to be continuous. While they're learning, can we give them a real-time job experience? But that is difficult to design on the ground. For example, if I say industry visits and industry work is two different things. Industry visit, I have to take you to some place to make you see the place. If I have to say you work, why should the employer give you part-time work?
Yes.
So it's for us to be able to design where the employer also feels, we also feel, and make it happen. So I think we've been relatively successful in beauty. We've been relatively successful in some of the chat executive, telecaller profiles. It's worked for us. But it's a journey. Manufacturing, of course, is a lot more formalized, and therefore it's a little bit more possible.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Lavanya, you can ask the question. Yeah.
Thank you for arranging this session. So, Gayathri ma'am, my query is regarding from CSR perspective, when we do women entrepreneurships, SSG based, a lot of have connections with becoming a social enterprise. But when the CSR funding stop or you have to do an exit from the conceptualization bias, is there any way that CSR fundings can be used to develop social micro enterprises from the initial stage itself? Like, I would want to know, how do we build that kind of system?
Any CSR fund is always going to be for a period of time, right? Any philanthropic fund, it is for us to design. Suppose we want to be in the community, it's our need. It's not the CSR fund's need. So that's why diversification becomes important. Design and communication of that thought becomes important. The point is, who is interested in the SHG's survival? Who's interested in the SHG's earning capacity? It's only you, right? So Lavanya is interested. Lavanya's community resource person is interested. So how, if that's the important part for us, I think it's for us to design it, Lavanya. No easy answer again. I don't mean to be not answering any questions, but I just want to be very honest and saying it's about how we are able to project, saying this is still work to be done with this group. You still may have CSR funding, not say, no, don't do it here, do it somewhere else. Then can we say, can we do 10% here, but can I do 80% elsewhere? So that's that negotiation you need to learn.
Actually, my current job role is I'm from a CSR department only, ma'am. So the leadership is also interested to do some social entrepreneurship kind of for women, especially the plan where I'm based out of Tirunelveli is
So
women
just let's look
workforce.
at it. If you are the CSR, now look at how you will design. Now, just let's for a minute take an agri. If you're looking at rural, take vermicompost. Now be realistic about how will you sell. Who will do,
That's the
how will you
challenge.
sell? So it's that journey, right? So then have realistic long-term exit plans on it. You may have to then transfer, see if some funds are going to come from somebody else. So when you tell the NGO also that you have to do, you have to, don't put unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what I mean by it, right? If all of us in the NGO world, if all of us in the CSR world, if all of us in the government were doing exactly what we were supposed to, then all the problems of poverty, health, livelihood, energy will be solved. No, these are human problems. And we are in areas which are by nature difficult. So it's important for us to take a more long-term systemic view of it and have realistic targets on it, not have unrealistic targets. And if you have no choice, for example, Lavanya, you have no choice. You have to say, I have to make 80% of the SHG group sustainable in, then define sustainability differently. That you want them to do collectivization, you want them to do so much saving, out of which you want to do only 1/10 of the percentage or something which is going to go into entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship, it can be dual entrepreneurship. So build back to succeed. I think we in the social world are too harsh on ourselves. You know, we're very, very strict with ourselves. Oh, I need to succeed.
I hope that's fine for you, Lavanya.
Thank you for taking up this question.
Yeah. So open for other questions. Anyone who have any doubt, please unmute yourself and feel free to ask.
Madam, good evening. This is Mahaling from Chennai. First, thank you very much for arranging this excellent program, and we learned a lot of things from Madam Gayathri. And I am an eye care professional, and we are working in an organization, and one of my friends also working. Monday to Friday, we'll work for our organization, and Saturday, Sunday, we take off every weekend. And for our inner satisfaction, myself and my friend both, we are going a rural area in Tamil Nadu, one particular district in and around Chennai. And we are doing for a rural geriatric comprehensive eye examination. And we are going for the village, okay, because all the eye care professionals are focused on city. but not doing a comprehensive examination in the rural setup. And we also focusing for the old aged home and mentally challenged institutions. And these services, we are only 2 people we are doing, and from our limited resources. And so far, and we will not get any support from anyone. We are allocating from our own salary some amount, and we are doing. For example, last year, in the year 2024, we have done only 640 patients, and we refer surgery and other things. But our aim is more. So this year also we planned for the double the services, but not adding many number of people, and same 2-3 people. But the services is a very commendable. The feedback we received from our beneficiaries in the village people, especially the senior citizens. And how to go about the CSR, okay, for this kind of services. Since we are individual persons, we are doing, and we are not attached for any branded institution or branded NGO, other things. But this is our passion we are doing. So for our internal satisfaction. But how to go about in a systematic way for doing this kind of services?
So Mahalingam sir, it is not possible to get CSR for individuals.
Okay.
So it is not. But what you can do is, there are organizations like ours which will require your services.
Yeah, we have our own NGO, but it was not approached anyone through our NGO so far. So for
if you
our
have
own
your
trial
NGO,
purpose, yeah.
If you have your NGO, then it is about building the credibility of your NGO.
Yeah.
So is it a credible NGO? That means you have your 3 years returns, everything. Is your governance system? You're saying only 2 people. Then any CSR will hesitate, right?
Okay.
But having said that, there are also smaller CSRs.
Okay.
Not the big ones. Go for the smaller ones where a lot of people want to do things immediately.
Okay.
So there it may work. Otherwise, you provide your services as individuals.
Okay.
That's how I would put it.
Okay, thank you, madam. And as of now, as an individual, we are doing our level best for our community and social people. And we will try to do more in systematic way in the future. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Mahalingam Garu.
Yes,
hello.
sir. Yeah.
So you have an NGO, right?
Yeah.
So then why are you doing these kind of initiatives on your own? Like, why don't you do on the name of your NGO? And why don't you put it on the face of your NGO rather than like you are the face of your activities, your initiatives? Like, why didn't you involve your NGO?
Actually, it is newly registered, is 2 years old, and since madam is mentioning that some amount of years to be completed and other legal formalities like a CSR certificate and other things. Once if completed that legal formalities for registering our CSR, that may be in future may be considered.
So I actually, when you are speaking about the campaigns in the villages, I'm just reminding about the Arvind Eye Care, which started its career like that. So you can collaborate with those kind of organizations for creating more impact. That is one of the suggestions.
That is institution based. I am also part of Arvind earlier. I was an advisor to the Arvind Eye Care earlier, but I am part of Sanganetralaya Chennai.
Yeah.
And this is for my own purpose. We are doing not for institution based. Institution based. They are doing for various activities, but they are not going for certain distance from the city level.
Okay, so you want to do it in the remote areas.
Yeah, but if in case many people
you can reach out to us after this call, Mahalingam. Yeah, you can reach out to us after this call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, we will take it forward and we can discuss on what we can do and how we can also support you in the initiative. And like one question that I missed to ask, ma'am, what metrics should a social enterprise focus on measuring their impact effectively? What are the different metrics that they can rely on?
So depending on the area of work, if it is livelihood, it is the impact on the income of the people. I would not even say it is to be high, etc. Is it regular? Post what you do, is it regular post vocational training, post learning, etc. If it is education, it is the learning outcomes. Is the child more rounded? Has both transversal skills as well as the domain skills. So it depends on the geography, on the area of work and the geography that one works. For the enterprise itself, I think it's the financial health of the enterprise. I mean, do I have the sustenance to continue? See, very dedicated people like Mahalingam may do it out of kindness, but 7 days, 6 days a week, somebody has to make money, no? Then only your team will be enthused to work with you. Roti kapda makan is first.
We completely agree with you, ma'am. So what is the one final message you want to give it to the enthusiastic social entrepreneurs who are in this session?
Let's say don't lose hope. I think you have enough experience amongst yourself to say what works, what doesn't. Listen to people like me. If you listen to 100 people, you'll find 2 things we say useful, 98 things we say not useful. Doesn't matter. It's just time. Then you will put the decision of what is right for yourself. Nobody can tell you. Everybody is old enough. Everybody has tried, has experience. So I think your experience, trust. I always believe trust in yourself. Listen to the others. Don't stop listening. And then make it work.
This is George, ma'am, from Tamil Nadu. And especially, in these days, it's an era of, not congenial for NGOs because that many donor supports and all gone out of country. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. And only very few NGOs, CSOs, they were able to withstand all the difficulties, and they were so big, like more than 10 crore or 15 crore per annum turnover they are having like that. In the meantime, but these people, I don't know, they are having some kind of some secluded way of approach, like their own domain, like some kind of industrial promotion, some cluster promotion like that. They are having some kind of a big funding sources from government and other sources. But whereas there are a lot of other small CSOs, those who have contributed a lot, because very recently, one of my friend from Andhra, and he was part of a forum, an NGO forum, and he lamented even in that group itself that even they were doing a lot of work for the farmers and poor people, everything, but there is no meaningful support for them, either through government or any other agencies. So I used to tell them that there is a lot of hope in the CSR sector, but even though we are encouraging them to approach CSR, but where is the CSR? It is very difficult for these small and marginal NGOs to find CSR support. Because as you said, the well-founded NGOs, they have all the contacts and connectivity with the CSR people easily. Very recently, also I attended one CSR conclave in Bangalore, and I was talking to some big people, Aravind Foundation and other people, and all. I had some connect, but they all gave me a lot of promise that you connect those people, we will support them like that. But after getting bids, it is very difficult to get a reply from them like that. So any suggestion for this, how to help this kind of really struggling and really committed NGOs. I'm not meaning, simply for the fun sake and all that. They are their own, and they support themselves for their expenses and all that. But for this kind of social activities, they are not able to. They are already entered into, but they could not continue their social careers, social entrepreneurship career. So, any advice, ma'am, in this regard?
I don't know what advice to give, but I can share. See, this is a problem which is always going to be there. So if you're saying they can sustain themselves, they have to put some money aside to show their impact, to be able to tell the CSR or the donor that I'm doing good work. Just saying I'm doing good work and sustaining themselves, but not being able to document it, not being able to project it won't work. It's like anything else. So George, what is the difference between, I hate to say it, but what is the difference between any company or NGO, right? Both are institutions. So the institution should be able to show value. So if it isn't, it will not work. See, doing good, you can do out of goodness of your heart. But if you are setting up as an institution, you have to work as an institution. There's no choice. And if you're able to, through funds with government or some other source, you're able to sustain, that means put out some amount of money for future also, right? How am I going to show some of the work that I'm doing? Who is finding my work valuable? If like your beneficiaries are, if your stakeholders are, then somebody will refer. It's tough. I'm not denying it's not tough, but there's no choice. Anybody who runs any kind of organization has to be ready for this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vasundhara ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Sudham, I have one more question. Actually, I started the incubator for persons with disabilities. So we train them into entrepreneurship, ma'am. So most of the PWDs had no idea about entrepreneurship. And the other side is most of the mentors or whoever the stakeholder ecosystem partners like other incubators had no idea what exactly the needs and requirements of the disabled, PWD people to participate in these entrepreneurship training programs. From both sides, I am facing the challenges for motivating them for getting support and also bringing the beneficiaries for this financial independence. For the most of the time, I'm thinking that is this my own interest, or people also feels that they need to be self-independent and financially independent from the beneficiaries side thing. At the other side, when I am discussing with incubators also, they are telling me that you need to have a revenue model always actually for the incubator. But when I am dealing with PWDs, there is no even a 10% of the scope to take some fees or some amount from the beneficiary side. My major work is only for the training program. So for getting these funds, I am doing some events for getting funds, ma'am, because of the 3 years qualification. Only last year only I did. So as a social person, I mean you are the experienced person, give me your insight about this. Maybe you can see the more people, you have any example who are very successful in this entrepreneurship training models for PWD? Any 1 to 3 suggestions for me?
Enable India, Youth for Jobs. Then you have ATF, no, Pratik. What is this? Assist Tech Foundation. So just look at all of these.
Yeah, ma'am. When I saw these people, even for Youth for Jobs, they're giving training for the getting job placement. When I am talking with the beneficiaries also, they're saying that the ground level, I mean infrastructure barriers and even digital related and even for the people working atmosphere also very challenging. They are somehow I'm losing their interest and leaving their jobs, ma'am. Actually, this is the fact. But
So
on
let's look
paper,
at it like this, no? Let's look at it like this. We also run a small center for intellectually challenged, not PWD, but these are people with intellectual challenges.
okay,
But these challenges exist, but you have to go beyond it. So there we have decided to go completely the entrepreneurship route, where we are the entrepreneur. So that means orders have to be bringing continuously. So you have to bring work.
no, okay.
There's no other option. It's not about training. Entrepreneurship is never about training.
Yeah, ma'am.
Entrepreneurship is what business idea do you have, which will make them earn.
Yeah, most of the people are approaching only for the investment for actual beneficiaries. They need money to start the business. But when we ask them about the questions, basic questions about entrepreneurship, even they don't have an idea. No, there is no financial literacy,
So why
no
don't you
ideas.
look at, there is something called a Diasra platform. Why don't you pick it up? Diasra platform.
Okay. Yeah.
So look at all of these. There are ways to get it done.
Okay. Okay. Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Depending on due to our time constraint also, let's wrap it up. And to conclude with, Gayathri ma'am, thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights and sharing your experience today with us. And your work at LabourNet and Sambhav Foundation is truly inspiring, and also like your perspectives on the social entrepreneurship and how to build and how to take the easy mentality, or like the mentality the people can keep on motivating themselves and going forward is really enriching. And we appreciate your time and looking forward to see your continuous impact as well as more collaboration with us also in the future. And thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will see you with another social entrepreneurship talk. Thank you everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It's a
Thank you
wonderful.
for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great session, ma'am, with valuable insights, and also it is so much informative and also knowledge building. We are really grateful to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.